Excellent. Good morning to all. It is 11:30 a.m. in San Juan, Puerto Rico. This is Dr. Carlos Celes from QuiroHub and Pivot Point Management. And today I have the pleasure of introducing to you somebody that most likely you all know, and his name is Dr. Daniel Knowles. Daniel, welcome to our platform.
Hey, I'm grateful to be here. I'm grateful to see your face again. The last time I saw you was when I was in Puerto Rico.
That is
a few
correct.
months back in February with the Berkshires event.
In a great event. And now that we have this situation with the coronavirus, I look back at the Berkshire like the greatest event I've ever attended, which it was. Don't get me wrong. Don't get my laughter is not one of sarcasm. It's one of sadness. That all of a sudden now we feel that we can't participate in this type of event and so on and so forth, and we'll be talking about that. I've known of Danny for many years before he knew of me, because while I was in school, I was one of my mentors was Donald Epstein. I was deeply involved with the network movement at the time, and my first years in practice, I was a network chiropractic practitioner. And that was back in since I was learning from Donnie since 1991, 92, when I went to chiropractic school, through probably 1998, 1997. And Danny is a chiropractor, Sherman graduate. He today is going to talk to us about the big event, Mile High 2020. But he's also he's in private practice. And Danny also mentors chiropractors in sustaining lifestyle wellness practices, particularly chiropractors that practice tunnel model. So we have the pleasure of having you in our platform for our audience. Danny, welcome.
Thank you. And I'm also enjoying my morning coffee. Unfortunately, it's not Puerto Rican coffee. I really would like that. So I'm just going to put a shout out now that if somebody wants to send me any Puerto Rican coffee, I'd be very happy to receive that.
We might be able to work on that. Excellent. And I've always found very interesting the different time zones. You know, it is 11:30 in my area. I already went to my office, dealt with the exterminators we have an old building that we always have to deal with exterminators, dealt with them, came back, and there you are having morning coffee. Excellent. Danny, Mile High. Tell us about Mile High.
Okay, so really, Mile High did not begin because I just really was looking for something to do. It did not begin because I thought, I wanted to just put on a seminar. It did not begin because I thought, well, this would be some way to make money or something. None of that. It really, sincerely was birthed out of significant frustration and irritation out of the chiropractic profession. Wow. Very, very commonly, for me, you get to and for people in general, you get to a threshold of not wanting, you say, I've had enough of this. The way things are is not okay. That there's more, and there's more possibilities, and not happy with the way things are. We were at a threshold of the way things were in Colorado. And what was going on was there was a huge push in Colorado, and we know these are happening not just in Colorado, but globally, but in the epicenter of my life, of having injections by chiropractors. In fact, to the point of not only injections, but vaccinations. That wanted chiropractors to push to have down this path of injections and vaccinations. And I did everything I could to get people to testify in Colorado against it. And very few people showed up. Very few people.
Wow.
To testify against this. Luckily, it did get squashed, but not because of the apathetic chiropractors, but because there were people that were in high places that we were connected with that stopped it. However, here's the thing. I got very frustrated that wow, there was just a lack of, in my backyard, chiropractors that were focused on the principle, or maybe lack of chiropractors that were focused on the principle that were connected and well organized to communicate and do something about things. And so I said, how will this change? And I thought, what makes chiropractors show up at things? What makes them motivated? And of course, I remembered, chiropractors show up at seminars. So I said, what we'll do is we'll have a big seminar, a big event, and have it as a ground to have really a movement of a certain philosophical, political, vision expanding focus, and bring the people that will really shape people up and get them out of their apathy and slumber to make a difference in their state. And now it's more that we've had some significant wins in Colorado. There are things that Colorado's not perfect. There's lots of problems, but we've had some very big wins over the time because we're more connected. And that needs to happen in Puerto Rico. It needs to happen in South Carolina. Yes. It needs to happen around the world, and especially the vitalistic chiropractors. And one of the things that's so frustrating is that chiropractors tend to throw rocks at each other, okay? And especially the straight or the principled or whatever chiropractors, they will tend to be so judgmental and so throw rocks about what technique they do or how they market or you said the wrong word or whatever. Instead of realizing, look, we're like this close and we're on this, we're this close, just let's be in the same camp and do something good for the planet. So, Mile High has also been really a coming together of people that just are on the philosophical adjustment subluxation side of the fence, right? They're the chiropractors that want chiropractors to focus on the foundational principles, that regardless of you're the straightest of the straight, or it's just what direction are you facing? If you're facing that direction, hey, the adjustment and subluxation is the focus of what we do, and innate and universal intelligence, you will love Mile High. If you feel that the foundational principles are what you want to get pure on, you want your practice to be more simple, and you want to be a champion of those values politically, in schools and education and organizations, that you want chiropractic to focus on the main thing, then Mile High is, that's why Mile High.
Fantastic. Danny, we've been in chiropractic for years now, and one of the things that I probably appreciate the most about chiropractic is its leadership, the level of commitment of some, if not many, in our profession. And I hear you with this, with your vision and what you've accomplished with Mile High and what you've worked towards in Colorado and your vision to get it outside of Colorado as well. And I have to ask, how did you get in chiropractic? I mean, what throws you, what brings you to chiropractic and what feeds you your passion?
Really, and this is true for more people than they would want to admit it, chiropractic has saved my life multiple times. So my first 2 years of life, I had 12 rounds of antibiotics for ear infections. And 2 of the times I was hospitalized for the results of the antibiotics, severe dehydration. And with that, almost died. And yet when they had the antibiotic, I had ear infection again, they gave me antibiotics again because my parents just did what they were told to do.
Yeah.
And that left me very immune compromised. However, very often in life, the challenges we have, the illnesses we have, the hard times, the difficulties, actually have a gift somewhere wrapped in that. So when that happens to you, you have that kind of medication exposure, particularly antibiotics when you're young, it impacts you. And if you did that to an adult, it's going to impact them. But for a kid, it's going to impact them. And it impacted me with I was frequently ill. I was frequently missing school and in and out of doctor's offices, and then turned into really severe allergies. And the allergies were debilitating. I couldn't function, and I'd never had them. They just came out of the blue. I was a teen because I hadn't had them my whole life. I had other immune things going on, and I couldn't play sports. I couldn't see, and so my mom was tired of giving medication. She actually got to a point saying, "I don't want to give him medications anymore. I think they're actually making him worse. I don't want to take him to doctors." And somebody said, "We're going to find a drugless healing art for your son." And the guy went to the library and looked up drugless healing arts, came back to our apartment and said, "The world's largest drugless healing art is chiropractic."
Wow.
And my mom took me to a chiropractor in our neighborhood. She never been to one, didn't know what one was. She had no idea what would back have to do with your nose. But she took me, and she actually said, she was a single mom. She didn't have a lot of resources. My kid's struggling. She said, "Can you check him as a complimentary? We just don't have money." And he actually said yes. And then my allergies went away in like a month.
Wow.
And so she went to chiropractic school because of that.
Fantastic.
So then...
What year was this, Donnie?
This is 1984. She started prerequisites.
Beautiful.
And so then she still didn't know what chiropractic really was. She wanted to do chiropractic medicine. She didn't know what she was, like very commonly people go to chiropractic school and don't really know what chiropractic is. And she was learning about it. And then, so I continued to get chiropractic care just because my mom made me go. My allergies went away. I was able to play sports better. And I remember distinctly when she was in school, I was getting chiropractic care. I was playing Little League baseball incredibly better. I've been on a bench warmer for years. And I asked her, I said, "Could this thing that this guy's doing that you're making me go to, could this somehow make me play baseball better?" And I still remember her response. I can still remember like looking up at her, as a kid. And she said, she said, "Yes, because everybody works better with a healthier spine." She actually said that everybody works better with a healthier spine.
Wow.
And I still remember that as a kid, that statement in my ear. And in my being, and remember the moment she said it. But then she was in school and she didn't really know chiropractic. And a Sherman grad that she had met said to her, "You didn't really learn chiropractic at school. You won't learn real chiropractic at NYCC. You're only going to learn chiropractic through Sherman, through people connected to Sherman." And that's what he was telling her. And he said at that time, Donnie Epstein was teaching seminars. He was just starting teaching. There were network chiropractic seminars, and she was speaking at her school. And when he was speaking at her school, she saw a big sign because this doctor said to her, "You got to go to a Donnie seminar. You'll learn real chiropractic. You'll learn real chiropractic if you go to a Donnie seminar. So watch for those." And it was he was speaking at the school. There was a sign up, Donnie Epstein at NYCC. And she said, "Oh, I'll go listen to this guy." And it was really the first time that she heard real chiropractic.
Wow.
And so the next weekend, she went and flew to a Dr. Donnie Epstein seminar in Florida. And then she ended up, and years later, as time went by, they started dating. And then he came into my life.
Wow.
So that was my path to chiropractic. But then really, the last thing I wanted to do was be a chiropractor. Because if you're a teen, you don't want to do what your parents want to do. You want to do anything that's the opposite of what your parents want to do. And they took me for a trip to visit Sherman. And I was listening to Donnie because he was always like this in my ear over and over and over again. Like you couldn't get him to shut up. It was about chiropractic, innate, subluxation. I was just like, "Oh my God, can you stop?" But they said, "We're going on this trip to Sherman College. You want to come?" I was always up for a trip. So I said, "Sure, let's go visit." I had no interest in being a chiropractor, but I sat there under the tent at Sherman College for a couple hours, and Reggie Gold spoke, Arnaud Bernier spoke, and Donnie spoke.
Wow.
and Joe D'Onofrio Sr. And by the time that was done, I was like, oh crap, I'm going to be a chiropractor.
Beautiful, beautiful. I've been involved with Donald Epstein. When I went to the first network seminar, I had already been exposed to the work. I had already been adjusted many times. I had spoken to students who were involved with network, and then I go to my first seminar with Donnie, and I literally had to step out of the room to process what he just said. I was not bilingual at the time. To process what he just said, and then go back to the room and continue paying attention. I can just clearly see the whole image. That is fantastic. That's a fantastic story, Danny. And in chiropractic, there's so many. I think every chiropractor has a very particular story to tell about how they became to be chiropractors, and not many of us have to just conclude that we've been chosen. We've been chosen
yeah, and later on, I know that, and I don't necessarily, I don't know if this is the place to go through it, but many people know I had some other serious health complications more recently, and I know that if I hadn't had chiropractic care all those years, for the last 30 plus years, whatever number of years it is, I don't think I would have survived. I know I wouldn't have survived the more serious health things. So, for whatever reason, the universe put me in the path of chiropractic, and I know that I'm here to serve. So I'm grateful to serve through Mile High. I want more people. I'm really concerned about chiropractic as a profession. I know many people are. It's an incredible gift. It's an incredible principle, and it's really not living up to the potential and the impact that chiropractic could have. Sadly, because we, as a profession, get lost in so many ways. And so, why Mile High? And I want people to know, people may not realize this. Mile High, because of the restrictions that we got put on with COVID, we're doing it globally. We decided that we had two choices: have very few people there, or make it virtual, and we're doing a hybrid global virtual event. We sold out on the live tickets because they can't let us have any more in the room. So we said, well, let's have, a lot of people are in lockdown. A lot of people can't travel. A lot of people couldn't fly and things like that right now. People that want to go to the U.S. can't go to the U.S. to get to Mile High. So we said, let's do it global. So it's virtual and people can attend the whole thing, get the recordings. And not only that, they can have, when they register, they get a registration for 4 people. So it's them and 4 people.
Wow.
So they can be at Mile High virtually from their living room. They can watch the recordings if they can't watch it live, and 4 other people can be part of it. So this is going to be in a couple of weeks from now, 17 days or so. It'll be the largest online chiropractic thing that's ever happened. And the intention is to help chiropractors expand their vision. Right now, 2020, okay, we are, if you look at the world and the current state of health of the world, people's perspective on health, chiropractors have the #1 thing that will impact people's lives, health, and well-being on the planet to increase their general health and well-being, their adaptability. By helping their nervous system, they'll make better adaptability, every aspect of their being. They'll be able to make healthier choices. Healthier people make healthier choices. They'll even be able to make healthier dietary choices because their nerve system's better, right? And there's research that shows that. They can make better lifestyle choices, which will all impact the current situation. Right now, people have more of a focus on their health, their bodies, their well-being than ever before in my experience of being alive, okay? And capitalizing on this by saying that from the mountaintops, not that, oh, we have a pill, potion, or lotion for you, or we use electric stim, or oh, we'll get joint pain to go away. Not by doing all of that, by focusing on what we do with these to adjust people so that their body can adapt, coordinate, animate, motivate who they are better is is the most valuable thing that we can give humanity right now. And chiropractors are missing the boat by not keeping the main thing the main thing. So my hope, intention is at Mile High, wherever you are in the world. We have people from Israel, New Zealand, Australia joining us, Puerto Rico, wherever in the world, that it gives one spark of inspiration for you to touch one more life in your community. Then the time, energy, and effort for Mile High is going to be more than worth it. Okay. And I mean, you registering, you can give a gift to 4 students and have 4 students join. You know, maybe by doing that and giving that away, you could meet your next associate doc or whatever it is.
And provide a fantastic opportunity to expand the students' consciousness, which today they're so locked up into their boards and schooling and the academics that they need to be exposed to this, regardless of what school they are in or what the future prepares for them. I think you've cleared this by now, but to make it more focused, what do you think chiropractors should be focusing all their intention on right now?
It's very simple. Chiropractors need to focus most on the people they serve. People focus on their technique. They focus on what something in a book says. They focus on making sure they're selling the newest thing. They focus on how they be the newest funnel, social media click ad. They have to focus on one thing: the people, the person that's on their table, and what's the highest gift that they can give that person. Chiropractors put more attention to having their finger skills on a keyboard with ClickFunnels and social media ads than that they up those skills more than their adjusting skills. And that's sad. That's, unfortunate. Very much so. And the people that lose are the practice members. They need to focus their vision on what they can give. That's the one thing that no one else on the planet can do, that they're specifically trained for, that will liberate life for that person on the table more than anything that's ever happened to humanity, which is the chiropractic adjustment. If they focus on that, that will be the biggest impact in the world, instead of chasing the newest MLM, the newest thing that will somehow magically rock tape their body into out post-injury, or the new shiny object funnel thing that if I spend $2,000 on it, will get more people in my office, all of that, instead of just focusing on giving great, loving service, caring, and an outstanding adjustment where people feel from you your heart, your sincerity, your passion to make their life better and impact their lives and facilitate that, and being invisible to the process, that they're less important and they give all the credit to innate. That's where they need to focus. Their vision has to be so fine-tunedly 2020 focused on that they will be able to have more impact than they could ever imagine, can receive more than they will ever imagine. But instead, they can go from a place of lack, especially right now, because there's a lot of chiropractors that are hurting. Yes. There are people who are afraid to go to their offices. In our state, we had to close our office for some point in time. There's things like that have gone on, right? There are different restrictions, and that can bring you into lack consciousness, and right, which is, it's hard to give when you're giving from a lack, but you have to switch that thinking to give more, and that when you give more and focus on serving more, there's a third part. Receiving more always happens. It's inevitable. Receiving more always happens. If you're feeling like you're receiving too little and you're not receiving enough, You're
more.
not giving enough, okay? And you're not serving enough. I heard over and over again from my dad growing up, serve your way out of it. If you're having challenges, serve your way out of it. Sadly, I hear people say, sell your way out of it. Don't sell your way out of it. Serve your way out of it. Sales will happen when you're serving, okay? You will find ways. People will bring money to you freely because they're so grateful for your impassioned, loving, caring service.
Fantastic.
And that's where we got to put our focus, especially right now. And people are, well, they'll miss the boat by trying to do everything else under the sun.
Thank you so much. Those are inspiring words, and I think point on to what we're living right now. If we ever needed to hear those words in chiropractic, it is today, and a Sunday before the work week starts. How can we be part of Mile High 2020?
It's really easy. You don't even have to leave your home because you couldn't come if you wanted to live. It's sold out. Whoever's gonna, the people that are gonna be there that acted early, that were smart, you know, are there. However, all you have to do is go to milehigh2020.com, reserve, and the registration, as I said, is not just for you. It's for you, and you can invite 4 guests. It could be your team members. You want to have your team members watch it so they get more inspired, do that. If you want it to be your if you want to be 4 friends, do that. 4 students. But not only that, we decided, because there were people that were like, well, Mile High is happening at 2 in the morning in my time zone, and I want to be part of it, and I'm in New Zealand. So we said, okay, what we'll do is we're using a platform, so we'll be able to go right to recordings, so that you'll have the recordings in a mobile device and be able to watch them the next day.
Excellent.
Or within a month, very quickly. So that way you'll have them, and so you'll have that too. So the person that purchases the tickets will have actually the recordings. The people that they give the streaming seats are only live. But that way, all you have to do is go to milehigh2020.com. It couldn't be easier that. Mile High, and it's the year's 2020. Nobody's going to forget 2020. I will tell you that.
Never, never for years to come.
But I know this will be the shining light for chiropractors this year, that they participate this and they get plugged in and inspired, that as the last quarter of the year comes around, that they serve their community to the best of their ability with the highest gift. You may not be able to serve at the level of Carlos. You may not be able to serve at the level of Jose Salgado or Liam Schubel, but you can serve the best you can, or hopefully you surpass Liam Schubel. Okay, so but you can do your best to get your hands on as many as people. And my hope is that during this program, is that your vision gets expanded. Okay, because your vision needs to grow. Right, there's a whole globe. Number two, that not only does your vision expand, but your philosophy deepens. Your philosophy deepens. If you get one thing out of it, from sitting at your home, eating on your couch, watching Mile High on your television, if you get one thing out of it, it's worth your time if it impacts one life. 3 is that you expand your vision strategy, your business strategies, that your business strategies refine. I have no doubt with some of the people that are speaking that your business strategies will improve. Between Amanda Affelblatt, Liam Schubel, Alok Trivedi, there will be things that you gain to be able to do business better. And here's the thing. People get also, I don't want to belittle business, because I kind of said some things about service that go back in hand. BJ was very service oriented for sure, but he was a very shrewd businessman. And so he was very good at business, and you need to be stellar at business to be able to be successful and impact lives now.
Fantastic. Donnie, thank you so much. This is to me has been super motivational and inspirational speaking with you, learning more about your story, learning more about Mile High, which I've always had the desire to go to a live event. This year we'll work with it online, and then as everything improves, we'll be on Mile High in the near future. Do you have any last words for our audience before we close?
Yes, I do. You are the most important part of your practice, and your practice is not about you. That is the fundamental challenge that I find chiropractors struggle with. It's a paradox, okay? That you people, chiropractors, unfortunately, as inside out as they are, think outside in, and they think everything else is going to impact their practice, their script, their paint color, what management company they're with, what gadget they're going to have, what their pricing is. They look at everything else except for themselves. And when they realize that switch, and then they have to look in the mirror and realize it's them that has to improve and grow, that's a challenge, because they have to actually put some effort into that and look in the mirror and be accountable. And then the second part of that your practice is not about you, is that you have to realize that you can't be self-serving, okay? But you've got to serve others and improve yourself, not for your gain, but because that there's a suffering world and humanity that needs you to up-level your skill sets, so that way you can help more people. You to be bettering yourself is about that person in the office. Bettering your adjusting technique, bettering your communication, bettering everything about that has to do not about you, but it's about them. If you can handle the dance of that paradox, you will have growth, but it's not easy. It sounds easier than it is.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So thank you so much, Danny. Greatest of luck with your Mile High 2020 and beyond, because this is a mission that will continue for years to come. And I'm looking forward for the participation of our team on the online event, and certainly looking forward to being at a live event in the beautiful state of Colorado in the near future. Thank you so much, Danny.
Thank you.